Hey everybody, David Pease here, broadcasting from Studio Sequim, or the basement of the J. Edgar Hoover building, possibly. Either way, I am very excited about today. Today is kind of the ending of an era, or the ending of one chapter and the beginning of another. Today, I am going to be unboxing my own my own copy of season 4, the fan-made cards from authored by Stephen from a channel you may know, Alien Investigations, which I will link in the description below. Stephen kind of started this as a fun thing on the side, and through the community, we found out about it and decided to take it all the way. And we did play testing, we did all kinds of edits and rewrites, and then of course the dear leader Dax Golding put them all together in card form for us. I'm going to turn this down real quick because I'm hearing a bit of an echo. There we go. And the end result is these cards. So I'm going to open these up. Again, a lot of good memories here. These season 4 cards, we worked for quite a while at putting these together, doing the play testing and stuff, which you can see on my channel. A majority of those play tests are recorded and available for viewing. In case you're curious, you can see the play test version, just the plain white cards. But in this case, we've got the final product. So I am going to bring these up here. There we go. Now, in addition, I'm going to get a little closer here. In addition to the season 4 cards, which arrived, I did receive 2 envelopes from the dear leader Dax Golding, and I'm going to be opening those up later on. I think I know what they are, but I'm going to save them for last because I'm pretty excited about that as well. So I'm going to set those to the side here. And you can see I've already prepared for this momentous occasion. I've already made my custom divider cards for when I put them into the channels to keep them organized. So I've got those at the ready. But without further ado, I'm actually going to bring this camera in a little closer, because these cards are definitely worth seeing up close and personal. And that'll give you a chance to pause if you want to take a look at any one of them a little closer. Also linked in the description is a website from our good friend Yost Burns, who created a database and deck building assistant, a website that we use quite often to build our decks each week. And he's got a great library of cards. I will put a link in the description to his website. So if you ever want to go back and look at any of these cards up close and get the text, you can see them there. So there it is. Nice box there. And here's my little brick with the shrink wrap around it. Very nice. And a little teaser coming soon. 11/22/63. Curious about that one? Well, we're going to have a state of the game discussion coming up in just a few days. That'll be broadcast live here on Studio Sequim and available afterward for viewing. If you want to see what's coming up in all these fan-made expansions, see what's going on, what's coming up, and get a little preview of some of the cards. It's a lot of fun, and we'll have a lot of good guests there. Hopefully we'll have Stephen, and I've got to be extra careful here. It's like performing surgery. There we go. Just get a little starter. We'll have Nathan and Guillaume, myself, Stephen, and hopefully Mike Perrine will be there as well, the godfather of the X-Files, CCG. We'll be talking about some of the fan-made expansions that we're working on, things you can look forward to in the next, well, let's be honest, the next couple of years as we go through everything here. So there's that top card. Let's get right into it. There you can see Dax's custom background there, so we can avoid any issues. There's the title card, very nice on that. Coming soon, this is Blackwood, one that you're going to hear about. That is currently in playtesting at the moment. So you'll hear a lot about that and start seeing some playtesting videos coming up. Here's the title card for season 4. Very good. And if you're, I see I've got 2 viewers here. If you're out there, feel free to comment, ask questions, or just if you see one of the cards that you have a particular affinity for, tell us about it. If you have a plan for a deck or anything like that as we go through. So we'll start here. Here's the Agent Deputy Barney Pastor. We've seen that one quite a few times. Mike Millar, NTSB. Yeah, I wish this was a little closer, but the text on here is notoriously small. So I can't imagine you'd be able to pause and really get a close view, but we'll keep going through here. Agent Counts, Detective Hudak, Agent Heaton, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time for any mispronunciations. I'm still at the beginning of my binge, my watch through. I did watch the show when it was on back in the late 90s, but I only watched the first 3 seasons, and then for whatever reason just kind of fell out of it and just started a rewatch. But I'm very early in that, so hopefully I'll catch up here. Here's a big fan favorite. I know this is one of Steven's favorites. The Peacock brothers from the episode Home. I'm just going to remove. No, I'm going to keep myself on just so the microphone is there, and you can see my reaction as these things go. So the Peacock brothers, yeah, great adversary, and quite a few cards from this particular episode here. I know it's one of Steven's favorites, but it makes for a great deck and some really great combos, and keep your game thematic. So that's a lot of fun. There's Samuel Ebola. Jerry Schnoz senses your unrest. Creepy. Dr. Jack Franklin. Russian Horseman. This is part of one of my favorite mechanics here, the Gulag, which we'll see some more cards coming up. A mechanic that I grew an affinity for whatever reason early on in play testing. I think it's just kind of cool and fun. And there went my camera. Hold on a second here. Fix that real quick. That's what I get for screwing around while broadcasting. Sorry about that. This will give me a great opportunity for post-production editing. There we go, back in business. So yeah, the Russian Horseman, great one there. Gulag Commandant, there's another one related to the Gulag. You may remember that was a story arc in season 4, and throughout the game you can send an agent to the Gulag and keep them prisoner there and out of play. They're not able to contribute their skills, and they're out of play for a couple of things. But in true form, in good CCG authoring, Stephen has also included ways to get out of the Gulag. There's the Shiv, which we'll see later on, in a few other ways. Here's the Mad Hatter, El Chupacabra, Leonard Betts. Oof, that guy's messed up. Let's get up close on that photo there. Again, excellent work by Dax Gulag on Dax Golding on putting these cards together. You would never know these from the actual published cards. They're absolutely beautiful. The artwork, the colors are all spot on. You did an excellent job. These cards integrate into your collection very easily. Nathaniel Teeger. Don't want to skip one. Scott Garrett. I don't remember this one from playtesting. Let's see here. This adversary can attack one agent, your choice, and is then discarded if Agent Pendrell is poor Pendrell. If Agent Pendrell is in the investigating team, then he takes the LRC damage instead of the selected agent. Agents attacked by this adversary must discard all attached keyword alien equipment immediately. Oof. You lose your alien stiletto on that one. Old Man Nichols. This was an episode I watched kind of out of sequence from my binging, but I did watch this one from the episode. Let me see if I can recall here. Synchrony. Yeah, that was an interesting time travel one. I won't give any spoilers, but yeah. Small potatoes. Nurse Innes. Again, my apologies for the pronunciations there. If you're if you're watching this, feel free to put in a comment there correcting my pronunciation. Scott Ostelhoff. Darlene Morris. Place 3 tokens on this card. Discard a token to add 2 to one team's alien investigation skill check. Not bad. You may discard a token once per turn. Discard this resource when all tokens are removed or discarded. That's a good one, especially if you're Steven. You are famous for your alien investigation decks there. That's one that will help you out big time. Sheriff Withers. Oops. Coroner Glennon. Denny Murphy, geologist. I recognize this guy from ICE. Yep. Michael the Club Goer. We won't talk about the actor's name in that one because he comes back later. Deputy Dennis Tyson. Lieutenant Terry Wilmer. Actually printed a proxy of that one before he's arrived so I could use it in my deck because he's a handy witness. Sheriff Hamilton. Samantha, Agrarian Clone. Add 1 RP to your pool each time a keyword alien or alien investigation card is played. Not a good alien investigation deck if you're going that route. Sheriff Andy Taylor, great name, of course. Minister Diabria, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Inspector Pruitt. Officer Corning. Nurse Rebecca Waite. What does she do? Add 3 to one team's medical or adds 2 to one team's occult investigation skill check. If your opponent plays an occult adversary while this card is in play. Nurse Waite is negated and removed from the game. Dr. Shannon. Dr. Larry Steen adds 3 to one team's sciences or adds 2 to one team's computer skill check. These are good witnesses to have. Some of the witnesses for science as a computer were famously low in assisting your team in the regular published set there. Michelle Wilkes, Kurt Crawford. There are a lot of cards here. Ariel Weiss. That's why I'm not reading every single one. Every single one's game effect here. Kenneth Unger. Lenny Markham. Sharon Graffia. Sergeant Lewis Fish. Jason Nichols. Looking forward to catching up on my binge watch on this and seeing all of these screenshots and characters. Hey, I know that witness. I know that person. The Neiman's, Misty Nagata, Angie Pintero adds 1 to a team's bureaucracy or observation skill check. I'll have to keep that in mind. I do have a bureaucracy deck that I like to pull out every once in a while, so that'll be kind of a good one. Martin Alpert, Harold Spuller, Dr. Orlinsky. I'm not even going to try. Well, I'll try Dr. Vitagliano. I hope that's right. And now into sites. 14th Precinct House in Buffalo, New York. The Husbandry Farm in Alberta, Canada. There's a couple favorites in these sites. That again, the screenshot that was chosen and masterfully added to the cards by Dax. Really great looking, worthy of foil cards, which you may see in some of the games that we do. Those might turn up. Here's Liberty Plaza, Philadelphia. Quite a few Philadelphia locations, handy for if you're using the travel cards, which one is coming up here in a little bit that I'll talk about. Gary Schnoz's RV, Federal Command Center, Greenwood Memorial, Tunguska in the Siberian Forest, oil refinery in beautiful Alberta, Canada. Abandoned bus. I have not rewatched this Paper Hearts, but I do remember that episode being a great kind of tense episode, so that'll be a fun one to revisit. Migrant workers camp in San Joaquin Valley, California. Oof. Montagabella, I know I'm saying that wrong. Medical Center in Pittsburgh. Another one in Pittsburgh, very handy if you're using, you want people to travel between sites. Here's Woes Tattoo Parlor, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've seen this one. One of our regular players actually translated that to foil, and it looks really great because of the colors, especially the neon that's in there. So it's a good one. Lombard Research Facility. Ben Zion Cemetery, Brooklyn. Vietnam War Memorial, Washington, D.C. Flight 549 crash site in upstate New York. Bureaucracy and evidence collection 5+. May ask a motive question or a result question. Oh, another good picture. This would be another fun one in foil. UFO crash site with the aliens face there. Seeing that kind of turn up. Prismatic would be kind of neat. Hotel James Monroe in Boston. Oh, I'm going to get this up close so I can try and read the thing here. Well, it's the community hospital, the one where the baby is born with the tail. The episode name. Oof. See if the glasses just aren't helping today. I'm sure somebody is watching and saying, "Damn it, David, can't you just read the cards? I know that episode." If you're watching, feel free to comment. Whether you're watching live now or later on, help me out. I could really use that assistance. Here's Payson, South Carolina. Angie's Midnight Bowl in Washington, D.C. Cassandra House, Chepachet, Rhode Island. Well, I'm going to have to catch up. Here's another great picture that was used, another screen still that was used for this card. St. Elias Mountains in the Yukon Territory of Canada. I've seen this one in foil. It looks really great. Okay, now we're getting into events. These are the meat of the whole thing here. Carver's Accommodation. Agent Nemhauser found dismembered, a killer card. I love those killer cards. We need to play more of those. Makes kind of fun, risky gameplay, but you can see very expensive. That's something that happens with a majority of the killer cards. Serial ovotypes. One. Exterminated. I'm sure everyone's curious about this. Play this card to negate any one keyword negate card. If X is the negated card, it is removed from the game along with this card. Very handy to have two of these in your deck for sure. Marita's Overture. Ooh, that's a big one. I'm not going to read that one. Alien Bounty Healer. Play on an agent in the hospital. The agent heals up to 3 tokens of damage, and any inflicted keywords, i.e. cancer or insanity, are removed. Another handy one to have 2 of in your deck, and only 4 cost. Oh, there it is. Only 4 costs, so not too bad. Most healing cards take 1 off or remove a keyword that's been added. This one does both, so a very valuable card to have. Reconnaissance. Deputy Pastor killed in the line of duty. Another killer card. Don't play these enough. I need to ask around after I'm done with this broadcast and see if anyone wants to play a game with the killer cards. Post-mortem, if the team makes a medical 4 skill check, add 5 tokens to your resource pool. That's nice. If you have a medical themed deck. FBI Special Photographic Unit. Suspect Book. There's our buddy Jerry Schnoz. Play after negating an adversary when no combat was involved. If the team makes a criminal investigation 4+ skill check, place this card in your bureau section. You may discard this card during your investigation phase to add 2 to a site skill check, and not a specific skill check, just any skill check. So that's very handy to have. Encore. The goal in sight again. Play after one of your teams successfully investigates a site with observation skill as a prerequisite. Place this card in your bureau, discard this card to add 1 to an observation skill check. Not bad. A lot of help for the skill checks, especially if your team is lacking in some of these skills. That little boost really helps. Next patient. This is an interesting one. Discard 1 witness card from your hand to apply -2 modifier to one team's occult investigation or medical skill check. -2 could make all the difference there. Symbol of Protection. The Mulder Family Legacy. A well-placed Patsy. We saw this once or twice. Play this card when your opponent either uses a token or plays a card to negate your keyword government, adversary, or event. Discard 1 witness card from your hand to negate the effect. Interesting. Make history. Negate 1 keyword alien or keyword alien investigation card. Well, you know I'm going to have 2 of these if I ever come up against Steven again. Bitter Defeat, you can see there. Senate Subcommittee Testimony. Cigarette Smoking Man's Warning. Now, this is a 5 and a conspiracy card. Cigarette Smoking Man, one of my favorite characters. Everyone who's a fan of my channel knows that Pusher is my absolute favorite, but Cigarette Smoking Man is pretty cool. And actors always say it's fun. It's more fun to play the bad guy. So let's see what this one is. Play after your opponent has identified your X-Files method. While this card is in play, you, as the directed player, may play keyword government cards for free, and your government adversaries may ignore activator requirements. Not bad. Event resource, got that resource, which keeps it in play. Cover credentials. Early parole, play on an agent in the section of the table designated the Gulag. This is what I was talking about earlier, a card that helps you get out of the Gulag. Let's see, play on an agent in the section of the table designated the Gulag to immediately remove 1 token of imprisonment. Not bad. Extended sentence, here's the opposite of that. Play on an agent in the section of the table designated the Gulag. Place an additional token of imprisonment on the agent. The agent must remain in the Gulag until all tokens are removed. So yeah, there you can see a nice balance there in the game with a point counterpoint type thing. That's always a hallmark of a good game, that no one player can dominate the game. Jailbreak, play on an agent in the section of the table designated the Gulag. The imprisoned agent is immediately moved to the bureau undamaged. Not bad. Another way to get yourself out of that Gulag fast. Jailbreak, good card. I always had that on hand when we were play testing. It was always in my deck because I never knew when someone was gonna put me in there, especially since they knew it was my favorite. So they thought it would be funny to put my agents in the Gulag, since I was such a fan of doing that to them. The Well-Manicured Man's Vendetta. Krychek Disarmed. Krychek, another fan favorite. Play on Alex Krychek while he is in the field and damage has been assigned to him. Remove all damage tokens and apply the following permanent modifiers: -1 CRC and +2 Alien Investigation. In addition, Krychek may not be attacked or affected by keyword government cards. Place this card below Krychek to remind you of the permanent effects. So if you're a fan of Krychek, you've got a Krychek deck, you definitely want to take advantage of that one. Now here is the card I've been waiting for since the beginning of playtesting, Airlift. Play on a team during the deployment phase. If the team makes an Alien Investigation 5+ skill check, they may investigate 2 sites in either the same state or neighboring states this turn. You may remember back in the deck here, I was noting there are a lot of Pennsylvania, well, a couple in this deck, and then a few in the commercially released ones. So this is very handy if you're a fan of the channel or the Alien Investigations channel. You may remember one of the very first episodes called Travel Woes. I made a theme deck where I kept my team lean, but was trying to be able to move them from one site to another and investigate multiple sites in the same turn, so they could have very strong skills that would be difficult for the conspiracy player to whittle down or get rid of, and then I would use them in 2 different sites with the same strong skills. Airlift is going to help me with that, so this is a card I've been looking forward to. Very cool card and relatively inexpensive, only 2. So that one's coming in there. You'll probably see that travel deck revived at some point, because that's one of my favorites. I swore I was going to make that. That combination work. So hopefully we'll see that coming up again. Forensic Excavation. Roche takes a hostage. Paper Hearts again. Let's look at this one real quick here. Force an opponent team to make a Subterfuge 4+ skill check. If they fail, apply a -2 modifier to the site skill check and negate all prior witnesses that are modifying the team's skill check. Yikes. So a good way to get rid of those resources. Quarantine Zone. This was a good one and used against me quite a few times. Another great mechanic exclusive to season 4 and authored by Steven. Excellent mechanics that he put into season 4. Place this card on top of an opponent's site and place 2 tokens on it. Remove a token during each of their following briefing phases. While this card is in play, the site cannot be resolved. The team may not move or contribute their skills until the last token has been removed, except for agents equipped with a biohazard suit. 5 on that one. A little bit pricey, but well worth it. It's been used against me, and I've seen it used in other games where I was observing, and very effective. In fact, so effective and so popular, I made a couple of custom tokens to go on top of that with the biohazard symbol. So hopefully we'll see this more now that this deck is more widely available. These cards are more widely available. Hopefully we'll see that Quarantine Zone more often. Regeneration. Creepy guy coming out of there. Aura Photography. If the team makes a Sciences 4+ skill check, add 5 tokens to their RP. So that's pretty valuable. At the cost of 1, you'll get another 5. So net 4 RP. That's good, and encourages you to use Sciences. A skill not used too often. We've commented on that in our games, Sciences and Medical. So hopefully these cards will encourage more people to make those decks. Chuck's Resources. Search Warrant. Play this card to examine your opponent's hand. Your opponent must discard 2 cards from their hand, your choice. Very handy, very handy. Exhumation. Insanity on Ride. This is one that Guillaume has used quite a few times. Place this card on an opposing agent in the field to change 1 keyword law to independent or excuse me, I'm going to start over. Place this card on an opposing agent in the field to change 1 keyword law or independent to insanity. This card is removed when a healing card is played on the afflicted agent. Now this is a good one to note, because that insanity keyword is one of those keywords that I lovingly refer to as the keyword to nowhere, or the dead keyword. They are keywords that the developers of the game included in the published versions, but the game didn't last long enough for them to be able to take advantage of it in later expansions. Possibly they meant to use it and then changed their minds, but didn't remove it in editing. Either way, it's a keyword that's kind of been out there. Nobody really knew what was going on with it. You're going to see a lot more of it with cards like this. Desk Jockey. Play on an opposing agent in the bureau. The agent may not leave the bureau or add their skills to a skill check until a team has successfully investigated a site with keywords criminal investigation or occult investigation. Good one to have handy there, especially if your opponent has Agent Skinner, who sits in the bureau and gives you a lot more RPs. Something I've been known to do. Cancer diagnosis. All right, this is another really great mechanic that Steven put into this particular expansion to reflect the cancer story arc that went with Agent Scully. I'm going to read this one because this is another big one that I had been looking forward to. Play this card to add cancer to an opposing agent's keywords. The agent's health is reduced by 1 for each of your opponent's debriefing phases that the agent doesn't spend in the hospital. If the agent's health is reduced to 0, they must remain in the hospital until health is restored. The card is removed. This card is removed when a healing card is played on the agent. good way to kind of cripple or hobble your opponent's agents. Make sure they go in the hospital, or eventually they're going to go downhill. Again, another great mechanic I was looking forward to. One that I was so excited for that I also made some custom tokens rather than just using my standard red cross. If you've watched any of my games, I have a little dime that I've glued a white disc with a red cross in it to use as healing. I was so excited about this one. I made a separate token one with the I believe it's a cancer cell on it or something like that, or maybe reflecting that implant. But anyway, another great mechanic. And here, chemotherapy. I'm going to hold this up here so you can see the picture. Play this card on an agent in the hospital. The agent heals 1 token of damage immediately. This card heals up to 2 tokens of damage if the agent has the keyword cancer. So again, the point and counterpoint here to help negate, or not negate, I don't want to use that word and get confused in semantics, but to help foil this cancer diagnosis that you get. Tricks of the Trade, featuring our friends the Lone Gunmen, very much deserving of their own mini expansion, or what I would call a micro expansion. I think those guys are underrepresented, especially buyers with this +1 computer. I'll never get over that. I don't understand that. Ariel's Wedding Ring, maintain deniability. Here's another big favorite throughout playtesting and afterward. Happy Birthday. This was actually chosen by the playtesting team as one that would be an ultra rare. If this were a commercially released deck, this would be one of the tough ones to find. Happy Birthday. Play on 1 agent during the briefing phase to double the agent's res for 1 turn. In addition, you may requisition 1 equipment card to the agent at no cost. Each player may only have 1 of this card in their deck. Very powerful. And note the cost, it's free. So this is definitely one you want to have if you're using Season 4. See if I can get the entire card in there without the reflection. But yeah, a great card. Another one that we made into foil just because it's a great card. And again, one that we all kind of decided mutually would be an ultra rare. It's a good one to have, especially since you don't see much equipment being requisitioned as you see it being sold for RP, just what we call RP fodder. So the chance to equip something for free is a great option there. Pendrell killed in DC Pub Shootout. Yes, another killer card. Note the cost is 10. I'll bring that up real close here. Agent Denny Pendrell, that poor guy. If your opponent includes Agent Pendrell in any skill check in the field, Agent Pendrell is instantly killed and removed from the game. Just going through this deck and seeing these additional killer cards gets me excited about getting someone together for another killer deck. Another killer game. That would be a lot of fun, and a great opportunity to bring in the I don't remember the proper word, but the fluke worm guy. I love that. I love that episode. That episode made me sleep with the lights on for a while and avoid storm drains. Here's Warning from the Future. Spontaneous Combustion. Another killer card, again, heavy on the killer cards. I love it in combination with the commercially released cards. Just a lot of fun. Play this card when a keyword healing card is played on an opposing agent. The agent is instantly killed and removed from the game. Cost of 8, a little pricey, but a little bit less than the other killer cards and less specific to one particular agent. So keep that in. If you're in a killer game, make sure Season 4 cards are included in your deck building and throw that one in there. Advice from a loser. Poor guy. Skinner's deal with the devil. Skinner is a underplayed agent, in my opinion. Underplayed. I think we should see more of that guy. Let's see. This is a big one here. Cost is 3. And it does have the resource and healing. Play on Skinner when an agent cannot heal without a healing card. Place 2 tokens on Skinner and remove 1 during your debriefing phases. While in play, all of Skinner's skills, except health and res, become -1. And he adds to the res pool instead of adds to the conspiracy pool instead of the res pool. Discard this card. When the last token is removed, remove all tokens from the damaged agent. Very interesting. Kind of flips Skinner. Ghostly visitations. Crisis counseling. The healing keyword. Play this card on an agent when they are in the bureau with Agent Karen Kossoff, another underplayed agent. At the start of your next turn, you may discard this resource to either heal 1 token of damage or remove any 1 afflicted keyword, cancer, or, for example, cancer or insanity from the agent. Another handy one, and again, a good balancing card against insanity and cancer keywords being added to your agent. So another good handy one to have. Aggressive recall therapy. A Scully family gathering. Cool. Father McHugh. Mortality imminent. Let's read this one. Cost is 4. Conspiracy. Place this card on an opposing agent afflicted with the keyword cancer. The agent is immediately moved to the hospital, if not already there, and must remain in the hospital until the keyword cancer is removed. So even if you manage to heal all the tokens, you have to get rid of the actual keyword. Another great reason to have some of these cards that remove those. So you can see Stephen was a great author and kept the big picture in mind when he was working on these cards. I beg your pardon. Chris Chagall's Revelation. I know that's another wrong pronunciation, most likely. So go ahead, flame me in the comments. But there it is. All right, we're into bluffs now. Jason Ludwig. Play to change a site prerequisite to behavioral 3. Another skill that's underused, not used very often. So that could be very handy, kind of like Peter Tanaka from the commercial released ones. Hanging in the balance. Force Agent Mulder to go to the hospital immediately, undamaged. Place 3 tokens on this card and remove a token. During your opponent's healing phases, Mulder must remain in the hospital until either all tokens are removed or a healing card is played. When all tokens have been removed, discard this card. Wow. So a great way to take Mulder out of the game. Not out of the game necessarily, but at least out of play for a period of time. Booby Trap. Another from the episode Home, Mrs. Peacock. She had a date. Play this card to change the site prerequisite from evidence collection to medical. Again, evidence collection, a pretty common skill, so you see that a lot. Changing it to medical could put your opponent in a bad way. In the crosshairs. Relatively safe house. Interesting because there is a safe house card in the commercially released. Let's read it. Play this card on a team that includes Agent Alex Krycek to prevent him from contributing his skills to any skill checks this turn, including combat. Boy, we're picking on Krycek in this one. He's a powerful agent, so when you see him come up, if you know your opponent is a fan of Alex Krycek, it's handy to have. Senator Sorensen. Here's Gulag Bird, because Gulag is one of my favorite mechanics here. That is tiny. I'm not going to read it. I'll let you look that one up. Again, I'm going to put link to Yoast X Files site so you can look up these cards and check them out, read them in detail, get up close on them and check them out. That's an excellent website, either for reference or for deck building. And you'll find these cards there. Wellhead Explosion. Soledad's Revenge. Nobody Cares. Let's read this just out of curiosity. Any adversaries played at this site are shuffled back into your bureau deck instead of the discard pile. Handy. If you're able to get that card, you don't necessarily have to have as many adversaries as you would normally if you can pull them back out again. Grainy Footage. Elaine Tanner, we're getting close to the bottom here. Cancerous Nosebleed, here again, Cancer. This is small text, but I'm going to read it anyway because this is one of my favorites. Play to add Cancer to an opposing agent's keywords. The agent's health is reduced by 1 for each of the opponent's debriefing phases that the agent spends outside of the hospital. Sounds very familiar. Last Witness. No Trespassing. Play this card to prevent all agents with the keyword FBI from contributing to any skill checks occurring at this site. Funny story with that, while we were play testing, I chose my team for the skills that they had, not paying attention to their affiliation like that. Turned out, if I remember correctly, Guillaume played No Trespassing as a bluff, and because we were both still in the playtesting phase, we didn't have all of these cards committed to memory. He thought he had me, and it turned out all of my agents were independent, strictly out of sheer luck, and I managed to avoid that bluff, which was kind of funny. It is possible to have a team that can avoid, that aren't FBI. The Death card, play to add 4 to your, I'm going to read it properly, play to add 4 Conspiracy to your pool immediately. Another handy one, along with Nasty Surprise to build up your Conspiracy. Midair Abduction. Skincognito, and interesting names. So let's just read it here. Cost is 4. Play to force the investigating player to discard all keyword computer and evidence collection cards to in their hand. In addition, if Skinner is part of the team investigating the site, his subterfuge skill is permanently reduced by 1. Place this card beneath Skinner as a reminder of his reduced skill. I was talking about Skinner being an underplayed agent, and here's a card that would foil him, so I got to be careful of that one. We're including season 4. Here's Trial Run. Place this card to add 2 times Conspiracy to your pool, or 2x, I should say. X is the number of witnesses in your discard pile. This is a handy one if you're very witness heavy, like some of my adversaries like to place a lot of witnesses in their deck. Writing on the Wall. Legal Representation. Play this card to increase the cost of all witnesses played at this site by 2. Not bad. Detective Joe Curtis. Goldstein's Complicity. Now we're into equipment. Photographs. Adds 1 to the agent's evidence collection skill. SWAT Tactical Gear. Oof. Biohazard Suit. This was referred to in the earlier card for the Biohazard site. Cost is 4, so you may not see that equipped too often, more like sold, but you never know. If your opponent is a fan of that Biohazard, or even if they mention it casually in conversation, you might want to be prepared for that in case they like to have it. Here's the Shiv that I referred to earlier. in reference to the Gulag, adds 1 to the agent's close range combat skill. Discard this card to escape the Gulag and return to the Bureau undamaged. Not bad. Keyword escape on that, an interesting addition. Cloth Hearts, Epoxy Vat, Defibrillator, Hospital Gown, an interesting one, so we'll go ahead and read it. Attach this card to any agent in the hospital and place 2 tokens on it. Discard a token to either heal 1 point of damage or to remove a game effect token from the agent. Discard the Hospital Gown when both tokens have been removed. So again, another one that'll help you if either insanity or cancer are added to your agent. Again, great balancing here. Very thoughtful on Stephen's part, the author of the season 4 deck. Really great big picture view of this as he created these cards individually. Always keeping in mind the big picture and keeping in mind to keep things balanced. He really did a great job on this. Underwater breathing kit, Apollo 11 keychain. This is another one that everyone collectively decided would be an ultra rare, not only just because of the fun screenshot there, but let's read it. Adds 1 to the agent's res value. This card may be attached at 0 cost if played after 1 of your agents has been removed from the game. Each player may only have 1 of this card in their decks, adding to the collectability. If this had been a commercially released set, this would have been one of the ultra rares. But a fun card and a good help in a game that's using the killer cards. If one of your agents is removed. Composite sketch, Chimera Man. And here we are with the agents. Now these agents, I'm going to just spread them out here. Agent Dana Scully and Fox Mulder, if I remember correctly, these are all the same as the existing ones, but with alternate art. So that's kind of cool. I'll pay attention to my camera so you can see all of these. So you've got some cool, these were considered promos if the game were commercially released. So that's kind of fun to have. I'll definitely be using those. And Agent John Doggett. Now this one is brand new to the game and to the set here. There was a previously created John Doggett, but it was not released in this fashion. It was a fan-made card as well, one that's a big fan of the game, someone who's a previous organized play director there, agent. So I'm holding this up. I don't know how well you can see it on this camera. Again, I would refer you to Yost's website. Focus. So you can look this up and see what it does. But I'll read just the game effect here to give you a teaser. Place 1 token on this card. Discard a token to negate 1 bluff. Additionally, if Agent Doggett is in the same team as Agent Scully, change her keyword skeptic to believer. Interesting. We had just had an off-camera conversation about changing the keyword believer and skeptic, switching those around. And I mentioned that I remembered that mechanic, but I couldn't remember the card. So that's an interesting one. And health 5, that's pretty high. So not bad. And long range combat 3. Pretty good card. And bureaucracy too, another underplayed skill in my opinion. So that's season 4. And I'll put my dividers on there. I'll get to that after we finish broadcasting. I'll get those all sorted out and taken care of now. It's been a tough wait for me, but we're going to open these 2 envelopes and see what I have here. I'm going to try to avoid the use of the X-Acto knife here because I know that these are delicate contents. Dax always very good at being careful when he mails these things. I might be able to just pull this off here. There we go. All right, what do we have here? Taped inside. So this is a little off theme from what we're doing here, but this is from side out of here. This is actually from Battlestar Galactica. If you're a fan of the channel, you'll know that this is another one of my favorite games. I'm looking to bring this one back. I'll get it out later. But what makes this interesting, this personnel card from CCG, is it has the actor's name on the back, signature, their signature on the back. And Dax, knowing that I'm a fan and I'm collecting the series and also trying to revive it, this would be a great addition to my collection. So thank you very much for this, Dax. This is a great card. I'm going to feature this in the Battlestar Galactica collectors and players group and show it off to everybody. Let's see what I can do here to get this open without damaging it. I have a feeling this is going to be a new favorite of mine. Side. Here we go. Oh, look at that. 3 of them. That's a treat. So look at that. It's Agent David Pease. Funny that would be here. This is a separate fan expansion that is being authored by Steven, and he offered for me to be part of it. The Delaney expansion. The number series escapes me at the moment, but yeah, it's cards that are based on ourselves. We're given the opportunity to author a card for ourselves, add a biographical information, and come up with a game effect, and come up with our skills and health and that kind of stuff as well, and add a photo. You may recognize this one. Here I am. Howdy, cowboy. Got my cowboy hat and my shades on, looking pretty cool. This is great. Thank you so much, Dax, for putting this together. Stephen and I worked on balancing my agent, the skills, and the effect. And Dax is such a big fan of the game and creating these cards, offered to put this together for me. And because it's me, I'm just going to read it in full here. Got Bureaucracy 1, Computer 2, Evidence Collection 1, Observation 2, Occult Investigation 1, Long Range Combat 2, Close Range Combat 1. Health is 3, a little lower than the average agent, but for reasons that's a little lower, just to kind of keep it real. And my res is 1, which isn't unusual. Biographical information. David Pease is a self-proclaimed data nerd. David Pease provides information, research, and resources. Growing up in a region rife with paranormal activity, he is ready to bring his research to practical use. David has keen observation skills and firearms training. My game effect, place a token on this card. Remove a token to search your bureau deck to draw any one equipment card. Show this card to your opponent, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. My theme here being I am typically an office worker in my real life. I have been a delivery driver, very physical thing, but I then switched to data and data analysis and research and that kind of stuff. So for that reason, I tried to theme my skills toward computer and bureaucracy, having navigated red tape and management and that kind of stuff. and the reference to equipment, just being kind of a resourceful person, thinking on my feet, being able to get equipment to not just to add to myself, but to help the team out. And you'll see as I continue my portion of that expansion, I've got plans for about 6 or 7 cards, 2 of which are equipment. One is a little pricey. It's a new gun, a new firearm to add, and some silver bullets to give you a little tease as to the direction that that's going. But that having been said, these are great. 3 of them. This is awesome. My wife has, there's a little joke if you follow me on Facebook. My wife has inspirational cards at our front door. We have a little desk there at the front door, and she puts inspirational cards on there. And I told her I'm not the only one who collects cards, and she got a little laugh out of that. And I told her that I was going to put my agent card up there. Now that I have 3, which was unexpected, I can still use one in the game and have one up there at the front. So when people come in, they can see my agent card, and it'll be a great conversation starter. So thank you very much, Stephen, for helping me put that together, and to Dax for putting it into this final form, in card form. This is really great. This is a lot of fun. That brings us kind of to the end of the unboxing here. I'm going to switch real quick. Get rid of that one. Yeah, that one. There I am. Thank you very much for watching. I do see I had one viewer during the broadcast here, but thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, you will want to see more. Definitely click like and subscribe to the channel. I'll also have links to Yost's website. I'll have a link to that travel deck game on the Alien Investigations channel. I highly recommend if you go to that channel and you like it, definitely subscribe. Oh, there's my buddy Robert. He says thanks. He's been my one viewer during this live broadcast. It was a little impromptu. There was only about a day's notice, so I'm not surprised that I have just the one. So thank you, Robert, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, like, subscribe, check it out. Go to the Alien Investigations channel and like and subscribe there, as well as MN X-Files CCG, run by Mike and Matt. Again, the Godfathers, they brought this game back to the forefront and really helped build the community to what it is now. So big thanks to them. Big thanks to Dax. I've mentioned his name a few times, but you can't say it enough. Dax has been huge, very instrumental in reviving this game. And you can see not only his dream cards that he made so that he could collect autographs, but putting together season 4 and all the subsequent expansions that you're going to see coming out in the next couple of years. So big thanks to them. Definitely like and subscribe. I'll include a link to Yost's website as well, so you can research these cards a little further, and it can help you do your deck building and select your agent team. Very handy resource. With that having been said, thanks again, and I hope to see you in the next broadcast.